Just a quick summary. I know it's a lot of information. Our current system is a quilt-like system, not suitable for the world's largest economy. Bringing it in the 21st century would cut out inefficiencies, establish a foundation to encourage development in alternative means of energy generation. So we're not only talking about the smart grid, we're talking about advancements in solar panels and wind turbines and fuel cells and batteries, because this would encourage everything. It's a catalyst in the energy industry. But also, I think, bring the U.S. out of the economic slump that it is in, and create a more resilient and reliable grid, making the U.S. attractive to businesses and to people around the globe to move to. Ease foreign relations. We wouldn't have to work if we were independent from Saudi Arabia, from Venezuela. We wouldn't have to worry about advocating women's freedoms and women's rights in Saudi Arabia. We wouldn't have to worry about opposing Chavez's dictatorial rule of Venezuela. It would really give us a lot more liberties to clearly say what we want abroad, and within the nation, of course. So, a bit more, the grid, remember, it optimizes performance by preventing outages, quickly restoring outages, because if a power line goes down, the utility company will quickly be able to know where they have to go to fix it. They don't have to wait for somebody to call. It allows consumers to manage energy use right down to the individual appliance. So this thing goes from the macro level to the micro level. It's great. And it incorporates and encourages new sustainable energies and DER. So my vision, the federal government needs to subsidize smart meters, DER, clean energy farms, and of course the interstate lines. Also, there needs to be a reorganization of authorities of the transmission lines so that it is more attractive and simpler to create these big projects, as well as give DER owners more rights and clearly display them so that you know that you can sell electricity at a reasonable rate back into the grid. Which will make it more attractive. So they need to give a stimulus package to our electricity sector. So my thoughts, the grid needs a larger spotlight, a clear vision, and a commanding leader. It is definitely the silver bullet to America's woes. Eisenhower, 60 years ago, began building the interstate highway system for national security purposes, but it has, of course, given us many other options. And a similar system needs to be built with our electricity. So we need a leader like, I don't know, Obama needs to adopt this, or somebody else needs to adopt this and really push it. Okay, well, this is just a quick thing, a quick summary. Here are, this is like distant, it's a diagram that I got from a book. I couldn't really get a good photo, it's very wide, the book. But, remember, we can get access to distant plants with high voltage lines, even local plants we can get brought by. It has sensors throughout communities, and it also includes customers who can plug in their vehicles, buy electricity, sell electricity easily, and then their appliances will work in conjunction with everything. Any questions? Spencer?
Do you see this as, I guess, a new market that for investors? Do you see this as like a smart choice for people who want to really benefit from it, and I guess another aspect?
This is the future. You know, whether the United States wants to realize it or not, energy is the future. So yes, I think it is the most important place to invest for companies and the government. But I think the government needs to give room for the business to grow, but encourage.
I have some questions. I guess my first one is, why should the government support a private company in making a profit if they aren't willing to do the investment in the research themselves? And then my other one would be, does the federal government support disincentivize the actual research and development or production of these lines? Because if they can just say, oh, we're going to get $8 billion a month from the federal government like the Chinese are doing, why should we spend our own money on it?
I think you need to like break the ground and encourage companies to start rolling out with new merchandise. And then the government benefits by having a stronger economy, more tax dollars, and then more independence, as I was saying before. Like you don't have to worry about all this nonsense on the international stage. Did I answer all your questions, I'm sorry? Okay. Mr. Schossman?
Did you discover in your research that there are any potential visionaries out there ready to push for this?
No.
None?
No.
No one? Are there any
No.
lobbies that oppose this? Is there any explicit opposition?
There's no explicit opposition either. There's no explicit for, explicit against. I wish there was, so I could ask them what. But this doesn't really hurt anybody, except for maybe the utility companies who want a lot of power over it. However, it helps utility companies because utility companies won't have to invest so much into peak power plants, which are, as I said before, extremely expensive. And they, so the only people who I think might be against it would be some utility companies. However, as we saw before, utility companies are going for it. They are, installing a lot of these smart meters. And hopefully they continue to do it. Senor, did you?
Yeah, but I think it's related to this. We tend to think that companies invest in their industry.
Right.
They are going to get benefit from it. This seems to be a very clear benefits, but if you invest in something as basic as electricity,
Right.
less than you invest in dog food,
Right.
sorry, but it's dog food. It seems to me that just turn off the lights, move to China. I mean, I just cannot see. I would like a reason why the industry is not investing in something that seems to benefit them. I mean, as a percentage of their profit, I'm sure they make more money than dog food producers. They have to.
Yeah. And I completely agree. I think the problem right now is just ignorance. People don't know about the smart grid. People don't know about the benefits of it. Of course, the industry should know about it, but I don't feel like they're motivated to do it. They like the status quo, and they don't want to shift. Just think of GM. Think of Westinghouse. Westinghouse didn't shift, and that's why they collapsed. I think, from what I hear from a lot of businessmen, that's one of the problems with many American companies. The lack of innovation. They like the status quo. So I agree. There needs to be a ton of research and development.
Seems to be more an ideological problem than a technical problem. There are technical problems, but we are fat and lazy.
There have been so many technological advances that it could be easily done.